group of people are beginning to label me as a flag bearer of the Western interest. That is very far from reality. I said we should stop wasting money on Ajaokuta. How would that benefit the Western world? Why can't they bring in factories that can manufacture vehicles here in Nigeria? Not assemble. Everybody, whether in government or in the private sector, that is promoting products that can only be removed from here as raw material to be sent to Europe or America, they are against the growth of this country. The emphasis should be on how to manufacture finished products here in Nigeria. Even if people want to label me falsely, without evidence, that I'm an agent of the Western power. Hello everybody, my name is Dr. Caesar Iyayi, your advocate for the industrialization of Africa, beginning from Nigeria. That is, Nigeria is the starting point of the industrial manufacturing process of Africa. I want to just react very quickly to some of the comments that were made regarding my observation about Ajaokuta Steel Complex. Remember I said Ajaokuta is not viable, and I stated the reasons. And I said there are good news and there are bad news. And that the good news is that we can always buy iron ingot on the cheap. The bad news is that we have a plant that requires coke, a plant that will be fed with an iron ore that is only 33% iron content against the minimum of 66% iron content that's obtained worldwide, like in China, like in Russia, like in Ukraine, Guinea, or Australia. So somebody or a group of people, from my observation, are beginning to label me as a flag bearer of the Western interest. That is very far from reality. As a matter of fact, I'm a total advocate of the industrialization of Africa. Like I said, beginning from Nigeria. Why should people try to imagine in their small heads that because I want Nigeria to stop wasting money on a plant that can never be successful, that because of that, I am trying to promote Western interest? In what way? People like to make business arguments that have no foundation. We should be very particular about the need for us as a people, starting from Nigeria, because of the enormous gas that we have. We should be very focused on how we can start that process of industrial manufacturing. I said we can bring in iron on the cheap. How would that benefit the Western world? I said we should stop wasting money on Ajaokuta. How would that benefit the Western world? The Western world can only benefit if we are unable to start the industrial manufacturing process. If you observe, all the factories that are set up here by Indians or Chinese, they are focused on factories that do not really add much value. Why can't they bring in factories that can manufacture vehicles here in Nigeria, for example? Not assemble. Innocent is already doing that in Anambra. We want to move beyond assembly. I heard recently that whether it is Ondo or Oyo, one of the western states, they have brought in a plant that is supposed to start recycling aluminum and recycling copper. Not even recycle. They bring copper in from your generator, or copper in from your radiator, copper in from all other industrial appliances that you may have that have copper in them, aluminum also from canned tins and whatever. They just melt them into ingots and ship them away. People are applauding the government there in whether in Ondo or Oyo. And I said, nonsense. If they met the copper or aluminum here in Nigeria or in Oyo or in Ondo, why can't they use that to manufacture a finished product? Why should they take it to India or to China and use it to manufacture things and return to Nigeria? And somebody that's a governor is spearheading such a venture. Why should that be? That will not add one iota of industrial development to our country. It's a minus for us. It's never a plus. Everybody, whether in government or in the private sector, that is promoting products that can only be removed from here as raw material to be sent to Europe or America, they are against the growth of this country. The emphasis should be on how to manufacture finished products here in Nigeria. Next time when I address you, I'm going to talk about how China, they go to Guinea and pick up bauxite, take it to China. How many thousand kilometers from Guinea to China? Then how many kilometers from Guinea to Nigeria? Yet, what we have, the Chinese don't have it. Our ability to generate electricity because of the gas that we are standing on, we don't have it. So the emphasis will continue to be on how we can begin the process of industrial manufacturing in Nigeria. Even if people want to label me falsely, without evidence, that I'm an agent of the Western power, senselessly, because I am promoting the industrial development of Africa, the industrial development of Nigeria, people who do not have very sound background about the issues, they sit down and start to label me. I'm not moved. Nobody can cower me. Whatever names you want to call me, they remain irrelevant to me. Whatever you think about Caesar is irrelevant to me. It's of no business to me. My mission is to encourage the Nigerian authorities, Nigerian entrepreneurs, for us to begin industrial manufacturing process. The Chinese are already doing some of it here. Innocent Motor, for example, is assembling vehicles. The question I'm asking is, what is it that's stopping us from taking copper, for example, and using it to make a finished product, taking aluminum, sort of making an ingot and exporting it? Why can't we just take it further and use it as a manufacturer commodity to manufacture finished products? The machinery, they are all available. People will ask me, how do you begin to manufacture something? I say, what do you want to manufacture? Whatever it is you want to manufacture, the factory exists already. Why can't other countries do it? Because they don't have enough supply of electricity. Why can Nigeria do it? Because Nigeria is sitting on the largest gas reserve in Africa. And all you need to do is to bring in a plant that can generate power. And after that, bring in a plant that can manufacture other finished products. And then bring in the expatriates that can supervise it. From there on, our people, being very intelligent, within a space of 2 to 3 years, you will see that we are making progress. People think it is impossible, but I know it is possible. I want us to always keep our optimism high, to always believe that we can do it. Nobody should doubt us, or let's doubt ourselves. I want everybody, including those in government, to be very mindful of this. That is why I continue to repeat the same thing in different versions, saying the same thing. If you look at it, all I'm saying is industrial manufacturing, that it is possible. You can start having doubts, so how is it possible? I keep telling you that just bring in the machinery, bring in the plants that can generate power, have 24/7 supply of power, and have the machinery and the expatriates, and you can make anything you want to make in Africa. It's as simple as that. I want to thank you for listening. Next time, we're going to talk about bauxite and other compounds that can be easily transformed here in Nigeria into finished products that we can export so that Nigeria can earn foreign exchange outside oil. I remain your advocate for the industrial manufacturing process to begin in Africa, here in Nigeria. See you again next time. A group of people are beginning to label me as a flag bearer of the Western interest. That is very far from reality. I said we should stop wasting money on Ajaokuta. How would that benefit the Western world? Why can't they bring in factories that can manufacture vehicles here in Nigeria? Not assemble. Everybody, whether in government or in the private sector, that is promoting products that can only be removed from here as raw material to be sent to Europe or America, they are against the growth of this country. The emphasis should be on how to manufacture finished products here in Nigeria. Even if people want to label me falsely, without evidence, as I'm an agent of the Western power,